Welcome to Sacred Conversations. Mandulo is the name. And today we are talking about the fact that this might sound very weird. And of course, I'm going to be able to break it down just so you can understand what I mean by this reference spiritually. You are not related to your mom or your dad. You're not related. Okay, some silence there. Just for a moment of pause. So I heard this the other day and I was just like, what do you mean? And I just allowed myself to feel into that a little bit. Like, what do you mean you are not related? You are not related. So we look here at trees. I'm sitting here and there are four particular trees, but I'm sitting under in between two. And I looked at one. It's a different tree completely. And it's very bare. It's obviously also winter. Yet on the other side, I've placed my hammock. There are two trees of the same kind, and the tree is just luscious and it's full, and the two are next to one another. And then it was just like, you are not related. You are not related to your parents. So, what does this mean spiritually? These two trees are different, yet they are next to one another. And how often is it that when two trees or two people are next to one another, they are in and have been made to feel like they are in competition. Okay? They are in competition. Now, a tree that is meant to stand alone and a tree that's meant to stand with another tree and be able to place a hammock in between them serve two different purposes. Yet we've been conditioned to compete. And I'm just using us as a reference spiritually. We've been competing against each other. So when I say that you are not related, related means belonging to the same family group or type and connected. Okay. Now you are connected, interconnected, associated with, comparable, affiliated with. Okay. And the other, the separate, what's this word? The opposite. Let me just check that one out quickly. The opposite keeps checking me out here. The opposite would be unconnected, separated, and unrelated. Okay. So when we mean related, like I said, you are belonging to the same family, group, type, connected. Now, yes, we are trees, but within the trees, some bear fruit, some bear flowers, some just leaves. Understand where this is going now? Some bear fruit, some bear, what you call this? Some bear vegetation, flowers, or just leaves. Okay. Now, when you were conceived, there was a need for you to fulfill. You were needed in order to help your parent, for lack of a better word, grow up. In an unhealed space. So you would have taken on the parent role as a child. This is why you wanted to save them and to please them in order to feel like you were of value. Okay. So I'm just, like I said, I'm using the analogy from these different trees that are here, and there's 4 different types of trees, but I'm sitting in between 2 ones. One is singular, one has just like emptyish leaves, the other one is full, and it's holding a hammock in between. So every tree has its own purpose, yet you are competing. You have been made to compete against one another. Okay. You have been placed here on purpose. Your parents were placed here on purpose, but they have a different fulfillment. Yet the frustration comes when the tree doesn't realize it is a tree and it wants to bear fruit when all it needed to have were leaves. The encouragement, the standing side by side, the congratulations on how you are being fulfilled, not you have to become me. Because now, how can a vegetable now become a fruit? Or how can a vegetable, plant, now not bear vegetables at all? Because the one who has leaves says you have to be like me. Okay. So you're not related because you are not connected. If we just look at the word for what it is, you are not related because you are not connected. If there was resonant energy of support, if there was energy that allowed you to bloom, to have whatever seed was there for you to just bloom, whether you were a flower, whether you were a fruit, a vegetable, or just leaves, to just bloom side by side. That's what the parent needs to do. But in the world of the matrix, where they can control leaves, turning them into paper, using the bark, humans come and use of the land, but unfortunately can abuse of it so that we can become more of a consuming nation than a creating nation. Okay. There's so much to create from things that are here. And yes, that might have been part of creation, but when you get greedy and you want to commoditize your greed, this is where wastage comes, and then loss comes, and then wisdom gets lost along the way. And then we forge knowledge that isn't grounded on a strong foundation. It's grounded from a misunderstanding. So when they say, in order for you to know where you're going, you need to know where you come from. It took me a while to understand these things over the years. But if you actually understand where you come from, then you are more empowered to know where you are going. Because as a seed that is planted, you first grow downwards and then outwards, then upwards. I'll repeat. A seed first would need to grow downwards, sideways, and then upwards. Why? Because you need a strong foundation to root. So whilst it is being nourished or nurtured, Your nurturing is how often you are watered. Your nurturing is who comes to you and what do they speak to you? What do they put into your brain that is the Garden of Eden, the soil? What are you hearing? What's going on here now? What are you hearing? What are you being fed that allows you to flourish and to not flourish? Do you know what I mean? So you are not related because you are not connected. You're not of the same purpose of being allowed to be you. You are being drawn to be them or anything but you. So what that does is create a sense of rejection, that you, as the one who can hold the hammocks, is not good enough because your leaves are full and they should be empty. And they should be empty. So you can allow nature to speak to you. We're coming back into a time where we can tap back into nature. And to be able to listen in deeper within the heart space. You know? Yeah, just I hope that this can be clear that you aren't related, you aren't connected. And that's why people start saying blood is thicker than water, to try get you to wire yourself that the family lines are more important than being yourself. So you are tied more towards loyalty than to love, which holds tension in between fear and joy and peace. Okay. What else was coming up with that? Yeah, I think for now, that's just what I needed to share with this topic. So if you are in need of healing the chords between the family lines and to reweave the interconnectedness. Oh, yes, this is what I wanted to say, of course. So when I mean you are not connected, what I mean is, or what you're not related, because you're not connected, because you are not of the same cloth in thought. It says where two or more gathered in his name. If two or more are gathered in separateness, then you are not related. You cannot relate to each other. Related is the way in which we relate, is not connected. So unless they are healed and have been able to parent themselves so that they can help you be the child, you are not related, because you are with a parent who is still this child needing to heal their wounds, but they're in these adult jumpsuits with all these responsibilities that they assumed the roles. They assumed the roles. So don't assume roles. Don't assume things. Question. Fear comes from assuming. That we just assume this is what's going to happen because this is what happened. We're in a space where there's a huge opportunity and a lot of invitation to question. Question, why is it that? Why? Just question and see where that takes you. But I hope that this could give you a little bit more information as to why you are not related to your parents. All right. Take care.